What's up, everyone? So today I've got something kind of interesting I want to give a test on. So I got this PS4 in the slim 1TB model, and it said no power. And sure enough, when I click the buttons, nothing at all. It's plugged in, but no noise or anything coming from it. No lights come on. Let's just try a disc. No, something's wrong here. The disc thing is jammed, so I think there's already a disc in there. And let's see if I can connect the controller to it, because maybe it's just the power button. The power button and the eject buttons are bad. So let's see if we can turn it on with the controller. Connect over USB. There's no power on the controller, so this is probably not connected or anything. Yeah, so no power at all whatsoever. Nothing going on here. So I'm going to go ahead and move this over, and we'll see if... I'm trying to plug this in. Move this over, and we'll see if we can get this taken apart and see what the issue is for no power. Could be a lot of things. I might not be able to get this one fixed. No power systems are kind of difficult, just because of how many things that could be wrong. But I'll just give me 1 sec. I'll move it over and get you set up. Be right back. All right, now that I got you all set up, let's see if we can take a wag at it. So I've already taken off the warranty sticker thing back here in the back. I haven't opened up anything. Just wanted to remove it so I don't have to worry about it. And let's go ahead and take out the hard drive. Stick that right there. Drive comes right out. And there's one screw back here. Do that one first. This will pop right off. A little bit of leverage right here. The reason why I'm taking this off first is because I want access to this one screw right here. This holds the power supply in. And it says no power, so I'm really thinking that it's got to be this. This is what's... the power supply is might be what's bad. So we'll just take that out. And I don't want to scratch at my desk any more than I already have. Grab a little mat, flip it around, pop the top off. And this will give me access to being able to take out the power supply. 2 screws back here, 1 and 2. And I'll switch over to the T8 bit. For these long screws holding the power supply in. That'll come out, stick that off to the side, and then I'll be able to take the power supply right out. For me personally, I like to stick my fingernails under the lip right here and just kind of lever it out, and then I flip it over. And this connector, I've seen people rip it off on the fat because they pull off its surface mount. This one is through hole, but it's the same principle as the fat one. All you really want to do is just grab it and just wiggle it back and forth. Don't try and just yank straight out because it might damage the connectors. But this is really what I want to work on, because I want to see if maybe there's something wrong with this board, this power supply. All I'm really going to do right now is just test this fuse, and then I'm pretty sure I have a spare working power supply off to the side. So I just want to look at the fuse on this one and see if maybe it's gone bad. But there's 1 screw right in the center, and then it's clipped all around the edge. So 1 sec, because it's going to get loud, so I'll just be right through it. Alright, so that is the board, and I want to be careful. So I just had this plugged in, even though there was no power on the system, that doesn't mean there might not be power in this board. And if you look back here on the side, for now, I just want to check this fuse and see if there's continuity through it. And there is. The fuse never blows. It's never simple as a fuse issue. So the fact that the fuse is still good tells me that these capacitors right here that are 450 volts, 68 microfarads are fully charged, most likely fully charged, because I don't think there's a discharge resistor on this. So let's see. Just real quick, I'm going to do a visual inspection, see if anything looks burnt or bad. This looks like there might have been liquid on the back here. I'm not sure if you can see it. Nothing looks blown. Mainly I want to look at some of these chips. So these right here are probably MOSFETs. These, and these are probably MOSFETs. And then I think these are optocouplers. So they got 4 optocouplers here. Looks like another MOSFET back there. They could be MOSFETs or they could be diodes in a surface mount package. A large surface mount package. Well, actually this one right here, it says it. It's D11, so that one's definitely a diode. Q4, Q3, so these are MOSFETs. Q101, so that's another MOSFET. NTC151. No, that goes to that. Q102, another MOSFET. Q9, another MOSFET. Anyways, so this is the diode. These ones are all MOSFETs over here. But yes, what's strange is it looks like there's a sheen all along the bottom side here. Didn't see anything look like it was burnt or out of place. So next thing we're going to look at is these capacitors up top. I've fixed a Nintendo Switch power supply in the past before, where one of the class Y safety capacitor was cracked, and so it went bad. You're kind of far away, so I'm just going to zoom back down in so you can see a little bit better. The class Y capacitor had cracked and gone, and so I'm just looking at it. I don't see any cracks on those. The other capacitors don't look bulged. Yep, none of those look bulging. Even these large ones down here, they don't look bad. These are the safety capacitors, that's fine. This large fat one right here looks okay. Nothing looks burnt, so I'm almost thinking that it's not this power supply. But just from a quick inspection, nothing looks bad. Let's go ahead and put this off to the side, and then I'm going to grab one of my working ones, and we'll pop that in and see if that fixes it, because if it does, then we narrowed it down. We know that this power supply is actually what's bad. So give me one sec, I'm going to go ahead and grab that, and we'll pop it in. Alright, we're back. It took a little bit longer than expected. I have PS4 Slim power supplies. I actually got 3 that are all good, but they're all the wrong model. So this one that I suspect is broken is the ADP 160FR, and all of these, that's dirty. Focus, NI 13160 PIA, focus, there we go. And then both of these are the ADP 160CR. So, wrong models, they don't fit. I've made the 160CR work on a power supply like this one before, just by pulling the connector, this connector right down here. If you just take this off and then swap it with the other one, it sets the pin out to be the proper order. But I don't want to do that for this one. For now, I have an ATX power supply, a Tough Power 850 watt thermal take with some ATX breakout board, minus 12 volts, plus 12 volts. Pretty sure that modern power supplies don't have minus 12 volts. 12 volts, 5 volts, 3.3, and a bunch of ground connectors, as well as a switch to turn it on and off. So what we're going to do is just hot wire this ATX power supply to this PS4 and see if it turns on. So let's get right into it. I already had this cable pre-made. I don't feel like making a new one. So what I'm going to do is these connectors will fit inside these terminals, and then I'm just going to solder these other connectors back on here. It won't hurt anything. Just an easy way to be lazy. I think I will go ahead and solder these on first. And I think this is 18 gauge wire. The power supply is rated for 160 watts, 12 volts at 13 amps, so roughly 160 watts. I don't think 18 gauge can handle 13 amps, but I'm not expecting this to play any games or anything, just enough to see if it boots up. So I got the soldering iron heated up. You need to figure out which one is ground first. I'm too lazy to look it up. That would take more time. So I'll just touch the case here. So one on the right is ground. Double check. Yep. Ground. Perfect. Put my leads back in their spot and let me sit down. I will tin these up. And this doesn't hurt anything because I'm just going to remove the solder from it later on, so it's not really that big of a deal. And I'm going to do it right here at the top because when the connector is all the way, or the power supply is all the way actually down, it goes more towards almost the bottom completely is where it actually touches. So it's not that big a deal. And I'll just tin up this one. Sticking just fine. And that one, good enough for the army. Connect this up. Nice and solid. And then this one. That's pretty good. So those are connected, definitely not touching. I will just screw these in here. I need 12 volts. I think these these fork terminals will connect. I just had this cable made up from another thing that I use. My load tester uses these types of connectors, or not this style of connector, but some screw down terminal blocks. Let's see if I have any. I'll show you what they're supposed to screw into. Something like this. This is what they should screw into. But it looks like they fit, so we'll just power it up, see what happens. Putting that back. Alright, cool. Connect the power supply together like that. I'm going to rotate this a little bit because when it powers up, we should see a light over here. Hopefully it turns white because it's going to bypass, oh, get you in shot. It's going to bypass this connector right here. Is just it provides connection to some kind of, I don't know, chip on the board that controls power management and everything. But if you supply 12 volts directly to this, it just powers on automatically. So ATX power supply is off. Plug that in, turns on, and I'll turn the power supply on. Oh, interesting. I don't know if you saw that. The fan spun. Let me zoom out. And let's see. Do we get power on here? No. Nothing. No smoke, at least. It's just interesting that the fan spun. I'm gonna turn this back off. Okay, and we'll turn it on again. You should see this fan spin. Yeah, that makes it seem like it's booting up. But, oh, of course, not gonna get any lights up here or any beeping or anything because I'm bypassing the power supply or power on off and everything completely. So let's make sure I got 12 volts on this. Should have 12 volts coming in on the power supply. I just touch this one here and this back here. Yeah, 12.295. So 12 volts coming in, but still not actually powered on. I think we're gonna have to disassemble even further and see what could be the issue. Oh, sorry. Okay, well, let me go ahead and open up the motherboard and see if maybe there's something. Actually, you know what I'm kind of thinking? I wonder if it's drawing any current right now. Let's test it out. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to... Maybe I can just do it live. Reach my drawer down here. Turn this off. I've got this clamp. Let's see, I think I can get it around here. Here's probably a better spot. So we'll get it around there, and I'll just hold it. Turn it on. Roughly 20 amps. It's AC right now. DC. Zero it out. And we'll power this on. It flickered. 2 amps? Better precision? No, nothing. Just screwing these terminals back in a little bit more. No, they're nice and tight. No power. It says AC. Okay, I'm gonna turn this back off. 0. Oh, because I switch it down to 2 amps. 0 it out. And turn it back on. Looks like it's drawing 20 milliamps? Is that right? Hmm. 18 milliamps. Something is drawing a little bit of power. I'm not sure what it would be. Okay. Yeah, let me just go ahead and start taking this apart. Flip this around so I can get to the motherboard. I'll come back to you in just 1 sec. Alright, I'm going to zoom in because I'm going to take apart this PS4. There's a lot of screws around here. So I'm going to start, just point them out, and then I'm just going to time lapse through it. But there's 2 down here in these little holes right here. 2 more right here. 2 really small ones right here. These are in the plastic. Black one here, another silver one here, and then here, all around this section. A couple more right here, and then, oops, you're off screen. All around this section, all along the edge, here, yeah, just all around here. So I'm just going to time lapse it. I will take apart this PS4 and get to the motherboard. Alright, all the screws should be off. Just pull these ribbon cables out. Nice and easy. Fan connector. And, oh, there's one, yeah, one screw right in the center too. I forgot about that. Back here. There we go. Oh, there it goes. So that's off. I wonder if we can feel anything. Whoops. I wonder if you can feel anything or see anything that might be out of place. I don't really see anything. So let's get to the other side, because I think all the power management stuff is on the other side of the board. So take off the APU clamp. Set that to the side. Spacer, lift up here. Gentle. Oh, trying to get this connector right here. Same thing, wiggle back and forth. I just got some snips to just to be able to grip it. Not squeeze in too hard, just hard enough to be able to grip that. All right. Just doing a visual inspection first. I don't see anything, but now that I have access to the motherboard, I can do something else, which is kind of test for just shorts around the board. And well, I guess I could have done that from earlier too. I could have just tested for a short to see across the 12-volt connector. Grab a multimeter. Bring this down, hopefully into the frame. Yes, you can see just fine. So I'll touch it to ground first, and then I think, was it this side? I did too much. 1.5, 10, 6, 4, so not really sure there. No real short there. This should be ground, which it is. I start probing around these MOSFETs here. 40 ohms. Actually, you know what? Let's switch to diode mode and then just start testing. So I know this one is something K. Got these capacitors down here. Ground. Oh, short. There's a short on this one. What about over here? This should be positive. So no short on this side. That's ground. This should be positive. No shorts. So I think these are 3.3 volt regulators for the APU. And if these are shorted, maybe 12 volt went directly to the APU. It might be fried. I'm not sure. So this is the high side. I'm guessing this is 12 volts in down here. And then following along, yeah, this is positive. So something is shorted out around here. One thing I'm just going to do is let's get the connectors back in, solder these back into place. The ground one. Boom, bam, and then positive. Boom, bam. Make sure I got that. The left one should be ground. Yes, okay. So, plug it back in. Everything is on there, and we're gonna do what Louis Rossmann calls the Aue test. So I'm gonna turn this on. So power is going into the board. Just double check. Should have 12 volts coming in. Down here, 12.2 volts. Let's test over here. I get nothing. What about down here? I know it's shorted right now. Do we get anything? No. Take this is the input. Okay, so we're gonna do the owie test, which is just gonna touch your fingers to some of these chips around here and see if anything's getting hot, which it doesn't feel like it is. Should take this off. Nothing on that side. Let's see if we got anything on this side. The RAM feels fine. Everything around here feels perfectly fine. APU is stone cold, so nothing. Yes, nothing. I wonder if it should just straight up start. What's also interesting is when you plug it in, it was only 20 milliamp hours on the 12 volt. I wonder how accurate that actually is. Okay, one sec. I'm gonna turn everything off. Drain it real fast. There we go. Unplug the power supply, and I'm gonna do something kind of tricky or risky, depending on how you look at it. I have alligator clips. I don't know how thin or thick this wire is in here. Let's swap this out. Nice and silicone. We're going with 10 amps because I know it's not going to draw that much. And the milliamp hour one is only rated for, it says 1 amp. Let's just try 10 amps first. And then we'll set this to amperage over here. Connect to this connector right here. And then, so it's going to be an inline. Oh, not this. So I want this, and now I should be able to touch it to this via right here. And a lot of current's going to be drawn into there. I kind of don't like that. Is there a better... So, sorry, I see my head. Is there a better spot? Not really. I don't want to connect to anything. It was low current anyway, but let's just see. I'll do something like this. Use the other alligator clip. Take out the common from the ground. Put that back in there. And then I can see there's a nice fat pad to connect to right here. That. And then just some more, I think it's like 18 gauge wire. Right onto there. I'm not expecting this to actually take a lot of current, but just to see if it actually does draw current. Okay, all connected up in line with the positive connection. I'm on the amp hour. Let's plug the power supply in and see if something blows up. Nope. 10 milliamp hours. Nothing. Let's drop it. So it's saying roughly 10. Let's drop it down to the milliamp hour range. Yeah, 10 milliamps. Only drawing 10 milliamps. Okay, came back. Noticed something very, very interesting. I'm gonna bring you down. Let's go off a little bit. And then we'll do a little bit of digital zoom. If you look down here, USB ports. One on either side, Capacitor chip. Capacitor chip. What looks odd about this chip? Something is wrong. This looks blown up. I'm not sure what exactly this chip is for. There's one on either side, so I'm guessing maybe it's power management or some kind of MOSFET for the USB connectors. But this is definitely borked. So let's just take this off and see if it boots up without it on. Set this down, zoom out a little bit. Hot air station, let's bring that up. I'm not even going to use any flux because I'm not worried about this being pretty. It's definitely ruined. There's nothing I can do with it anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this off. Okay, so that's off. Loudness from the fan, and let's go ahead and clean up those pads a little bit. Oh, my soldering iron went to sleep. It's been a while. Give that a few seconds to come back up. There we go. Okay, because it looked like the side was bridged over here. Okay, let's set this back out while the fan is still whirling away. Amps, switch it back over to 10 amps max. Connect the power supply. Everything's connected. Hopefully no boom, fingers crossed. Oh no, still 10 milliamp hours. That definitely looked wrong though. Actually, I'm wondering. Switch it back to the 1 amp fuse. Milliamps. Yeah, 10. Still 10. Is anything getting hot though? No. Yeah, with 10 milliamps at 12 volts, nothing really getting hot. Try to flex that APU. Maybe it's nope. Just feeling around here. Still nothing. Well, interesting. That chip was definitely blown. Something wrong with it. But that still didn't quite do it. Maybe it's just the way this is connected. Maybe I do actually still need to press the power button and everything. I'm not sure. Let me go ahead and just kind of partially reassemble it enough to where I can get the power supply connected, the original one, and see if I get anything once I use the power buttons and everything. Alright, just had to clean off the desk enough so that I actually had room to work. I'm going to put this back together. Somewhat part of the way. Just enough to see if I can get the power supply hooked up and maybe powered on. I think that power supply might actually be good. Seeing that burnt out chip right there kind of gives me hope. I don't need to worry about any of these Blu-ray drive connectors. Stuck on something. There we go. We'll do the fan. Oh look, there's some shmoo. That might just be flux. Some re-blackened flux. Definitely need this ribbon cable connected because that's the one for the power and eject button board. We will put the heatsink on somewhat most of the way. I guess I'm not really too worried about this looking too pretty because We're just testing to see if it was that chip, whatever this is. So it doesn't matter if it like turns on and then complains about overheating, because I just need to make sure that the power supply is going to work if this comes on. And then let's clean this off. So soldering iron is hot. I'm just going to heat it up, drag up, and that just cleans it right off. Same with this side over here. There was a lot of solder on these. That's good enough. Power supply connected. Plugged in. There we go. We'll leave this on the mat here. Power cord off to the side. And hopefully we get some beeps. So it's plugged in. Fan spun up. We'll just press the power button here. And nothing. No. Interesting. So it was doing the same thing as when the 12 volt ATX power supply was connected to it. Fan spun for a second, and then nothing. What would that be? Okay, let's just pull this back off. This back off. Maybe it was the ribbon or the connector on the side back here. Everything looks lined up perfectly fine. Just make sure these are in there nice and tight. Yeah, everything looks okay. Oh, there's still a little bit of solder. Just don't like how that one looked. Okay, let's do this again. All right, power connected. Oh, did you see that? Blue light, fan spun for a second, and then powered off. Let's do that again. I'm just gonna unplug it from the wall. A little bit easier. So unplug, let it sit for a second, plug it back in. Nothing. Oh, there it goes. Blue light for a second, and the fan spins. And nothing. Still nothing on this. Let's turn around to the back. The motherboard's exposed. Let's see if any heat at all. No? Well, another thing we can do, we've got access to the back. Let's check this connector and see if I've got voltage coming from it. I should have 5 volts ground AC in, or is it AC in and then AC detect, something like that. Can't remember the pinout on the power supply. What the connector is. Let's see. Am I in shot? Yes. All right. I'll just probe over here. Ground. I'm guessing this is the 5 volts. I got nothing. 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 And nothing. Is this shorted? Because when it's powered on, you should have a short between the 5 volt and the ground. Nope. Let's go back to ground. So there's nothing there. 100K, 10K. There's ground. And 77 ohms. So if ground's over here, then this is probably the 5-volt connector right there. But I have nothing on this spot right here. No voltage at all. Do I have AC? No. No voltage there. Anywhere else? Do I have the 12 volts coming in? No. I think maybe it's this power supply board or the power eject board. This is kind of ripped. So I wonder maybe it's messed up. It looks like it's okay. Nothing looks off. Let's try that now. Let's see if I can reach under there. Do it blind. Nope, I can't do it blind. Flip it around. I'm pressing the buttons. Nothing. Do I have power anywhere else? Let's just start looking around. Some of these capacitors over here. Nothing. Well, I mean, I'm not even getting 12 volts in on this. So that's not being triggered. What is this? Do I get anything? So I'm pretty sure, oh man, this one was, this right here was ground. This one should be positive. And if you short 5 volts, but I'm not getting 5 volts in on this, right? Yeah, nothing. Nothing over there. Nothing. Let's set it to AC. No more automatic. Which one is it? It's in manual. Oh, here we go. Manual. Oh no, I don't want that. Voltage. DC. I'm trying to get the AC. Is it this? There we go. AC. Do I have anything coming in on AC? No. Nope. Nope. And no. What about here? I guess that's good. Oh, well, I am kind of stumped. I mean, that chip was definitely bad. It had a nice hole in it. You could see some crap. The white mark. No power coming at all, even on this. I don't think it's that power supply, because when I used the ATX one, still wasn't doing anything. I mean, they basically did the same thing. Fan flicked, turned on for a second, and a blue LED light, and then everything turned off. I'm just thinking, what else would there be to check? Real quick, I just want to short these 2 pins out. Because, yeah, there should be, no, that should turn it on. Shorting the 5 volts to the ground should enable everything to turn on, but nothing. Nothing at all. Well, I don't know what else to check next. I might just have to call it. Something on here is dead, but I'm not sure what. I'm not getting any power whatsoever. The ATX power supply didn't work either. Directly connecting 12 volts. Nothing happened. Nothing was heating up. It was only drawing 10 milliamps at 12 volts. I don't know what would have been drawing 10 milliamps. Like I said, nothing was getting hot. Paused the video, and when I left it paused, I let it go for like 10 minutes to come back and hopefully something had warmed up, but nothing had actually warmed up. So it wasn't that. There's a short in, is it over here on the 3.3 volt rail? I think it's 3.3. Actually, I'm not 100% sure what voltage the APU operates off. It's probably, I don't know, probably lower than that. It's probably like 1.2 or 1.7. Set this back to continuity and diode mode. Get a short on any of this stuff over here. Nope. No. It's ground. Nothing. Back over here. The short there. These are both the same, but that's a short. Nothing over here. I think I'm starting to think this APU is fried. As if we look at this section here, this is a nice fat ground plane, or a power plane, that's going to go to the APU on the bottom. And if we look at it, ground over here, positive over here, these are shorted together. So the APU right now is shorted. Fortunately, there's no power going in. That's not, this side's not shorted. And it's separate. This might be for the RAM. Let's see, do anything? So I don't think the RAM is shorted. It just seems like the APU is shorted. So would that mean the power management chips are shorted the ground on it? None of them got hot. If they were shorted, I mean, power would have gone in and they should have started to heat up. I had 12 volts going in. The 12 volts should have gone directly to the power management chips under here for the APU. I'm rambling on. I think this video is getting kind of long. Don't think I'm going to be able to fix this one. So I'm just going to call it. I'll throw this on the shelf. Just use it for parts. Something in the future. I think the power supply is actually good. Maybe. I'll wait. I'll get another PS4 Slim in eventually, and I'll be able to test that power supply. At the same time, when that other Slim comes in, I guess I can put its power supply in this one, you know, if this power supply really is bad, and see what happens there. Oh, I'm wondering what else. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna call it. Working on this for half the night now, off and on. I got nothing. It's a fail. It's a flop. It's a good system. Case is kind of iffy, not that great looking, but it's still good for parts. I wasn't too much invested into it, and as always, I mean, I always enjoy taking apart these systems, troubleshooting them, see what could be wrong. On the upside, we did find this really interesting chip that definitely blew. That's white stuff is underneath the plastic black housing. That is inside of it. I don't know what the heck it is, but that's inside of it. So interesting. I've never seen something like that. And it was on the close to the USB ports, so I'm guessing it's probably just like some power MOSFET enabling power to the USB ports. But yeah, just enough waffling on. I'm stumped on this one. Maybe I'll work on it again another time off camera. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and close it out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Somewhat interesting to watch. Got some more sitting on my shelf behind me that I hope to work on too. I'll make sure to record those. But yeah, I'm going to call it. Take care, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed. Have a good night.